Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another MAMJ Let's Play of The Bottom of the Well. When we left off, we decided to stay in the apartment complex to see if that would be any better, and of course we ended up dying quite terribly, sucking in radioactive ash and just dying, so that was a lot of fun. But as you guys have pointed out in the comments, apparently after 5 failures, you get a crowbar. So I've got a crowbar here. I don't know what to do with it, but clearly it's something I need. I don't know if I want the flashlight or the map on top of this, because I'm not sure what to do. My initial idea was to go back to the shelter because I feel like I've had the best chance of success there. Now, I haven't looked at any like walkthroughs of what you're supposed to do, but I did take a peek at the achievements. And it looks like there are several different achievements that you can get. One of them being taking over the fallout shelter and claiming it for your own. Another being reaching a settlement and interacting with people that are at the settlement or failing to interact with people at the settlement. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it to the settlement itself, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to make some progress in this game here and then maybe work our way towards the true ending. So I'm going to take some food for sure. I want the radio. Do I want the flashlight or the map? I feel like the crowbar is essential because they're giving it to you now. The map hasn't really been that handy. So I'll take the flashlight because I'm planning on going through the ventilation shaft again in the shelter and hopefully I'll be able to make it through there. Sleeping bag or clothes. Let's take some food. I don't think I can take more than that. Yeah, that's it. So do I want 2 cans of food? Or do I need the radio? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's drop the radio because I've never really needed this. So we'll do 2 cans of food and a sleeping bag. Then we got the flashlight and the crowbar. Let's go with this. Hold on a second. A crowbar? Did you say you brought a crowbar? Yes. Actually, that is weird. I was packing my stuff when I suddenly remembered I'd bought a crowbar at some point. Years ago. I know. It's weird remembering doing something in the future that I will do in the future, because I sure as hell don't own any crowbars. I don't think a lot of people do. It's a pretty specialized tool unless you're a farmer. Well, I did say that it was a pretty special dream. Well, go on. What was it like? Did you run into trouble? Okay. So I think this is going to be the same. I'm just going to keep on going through and we'll see what happens when we get closer to the back end of this arc. You know what? Let's try and take over this fallout shelter. Why not? I just saved everybody. I climbed out like I did before. But although I'm in a little bit of rough shape, more than I want to be, because I just tried to do it myself as opposed to bringing people over. So now we got everybody from the shelter. So let's see what happens when we try to take over the shelter. Whoa. I admire your moxie, but she doesn't sound like the kind of person you want to pick a fight with and lose. What was she gonna do? Throw me out? I was already out. So, what was your avenue of attack? I socked her in the jaw. I attempted to reason without violence. I appealed to the whole group. Should we just punch her? No, she wasn't really terrible. Let's try appealing to the group. I appealed to the group, sure, but there wasn't a lot of support. A few shouted out, asking why I couldn't be left alone, but the vast majority just held their heads down and shut up. That's really weird. Why the heck would they do that? She was being patently unfair for no good reason. Well, the reason became rather clear when Ray, who had been standing nearby, pulled back his coat and revealed a revolver stuck into his belt. Holy escalating situation, Batman. I guess you backed off. No, we're gonna do it. You did what? The world stands in ruins around us, and there are people hurt and injured all around. People in need. People who could use a shelter. And this chick and her crew are standing here essentially giving out death sentences. She deserved at the least a beating. But I was acting on impulse. She never saw me coming. I lifted my crowbar and... Oh, wait, what? Your crowbar. You attacked her with your crowbar. Yeah. I was all pumped up on adrenaline and just grabbed it. She tried lifting her hands to protect herself. I think half the reason it was so effective was that she wasn't expecting it. Crowbar to the head? Must have been pretty gruesome. Effective, though. She was out cold. And Ray? He aimed the gun at me, but he didn't shoot. I scrambled up and started babbling and backing away. You know me, Ray. You know me, I kept saying. I'm pretty sure I cried. He just kept the gun trained on me. And then I was outside the circle of people. I turned and ran. Alone? Yes. No one dared follow me. I don't know what happened back there after that. All I knew was that I had to get away. After a few blocks, I stopped. No one was following me, luckily. So what did you do? I guess we need to get out of town. What did it look like? Okay, I think this is all going to be the same. I was going to keep going forward, but yeah, we knocked out the shelter lady. I guess we could have taken it over, but we just knocked her in the head and ran away. Whoops. Okay, so this is just a few sections after where I just ended off, but we've run into other survivors. I started coming across survivors soon enough. People like me. Some with backpacks and some with just clothes on their backs. It was absolutely wretched to see them. Some were staying put, but most were moving. Rumor had it there was an evacuation center set up at college. Oh, at college? What, like your college? Yeah. Talk about going back to where you started. Go on. How did it go? It was pretty slow going, and even though I tried to keep out of the black rain, there wasn't all that much we could do. But at least we had a goal, and others to help us get there. So it was real. The evacuation center. Not so fast. There was a slight obstacle still on the way. Oh? What's that? The river. There's a river. Not something I thought about either. I didn't live anywhere near it, so whenever I crossed it, I just drove over it. But there it was. A geographical reality. So? I mean, the bridges were surely still there. True, but when we approached them, we realized they were occupied. Uh-oh. By whom? I'm not sure. I saw them from afar and kind of ducked into cover. I saw immediately that they weren't good news. They had guns and were harassing other people who'd come to the bridge. I think they were mugging them. Did they let anyone pass? Yes, some. But I don't know what the price was, or if they had some other criteria for letting people through. So what did you do? Ooh, what should we do? Let's confront them. Should we? We have food. Maybe that's all they want. If we go downriver, what did I bring? I brought food in a sleeping bag, so I can't really get wet. Yeah, I guess we'll go downriver and see what happens. Whoa, this is bad. Whoops. Wants to say the other bridges didn't have similar setups. Seems like a likely thing to do. Why am I still on this screen? I need to go back. Please? Okay, there we go. Whoops. I was willing to take the chance. I wasn't going to tangle with a group of armed men, even if I lost some time. How much time did you lose? There's actually not much else to say. Huh? Well, I've been feeling it for a long time already, but by then, it just came to an end. Oh, come on! Really? I couldn't move anymore. I was too weak. I had to rest, but I couldn't even keep food down. Radiation poisoning. Okay. I can't really say much more on my last time on Earth. I was too delirious, too out of it to really notice or realize anything anymore. I came in and out of it, but mostly remember incredible pain whenever I was conscious. Oh, that's it! So maybe I didn't wait too long. Does that make sense? I didn't wait long enough. That's what I meant to say. I feel like you've done this before. Deja vu. Okay. Okay, for a moment. Let's see. I don't know, I said that thing, I'm going crazy. Yeah, so I need to figure out what to do because we found them. We found these people. Maybe I should confront them. Maybe I should go right to them and confront them and see what they say, and then that way I can find out what they want. That might be a good idea. Okay, let's give that a shot. Alright guys, I'm a little bit worse for wear, but here we are. We're gonna go confront the guys and see what happens. Brave. I wasn't gonna let them scare me. So? What were they? Just thugs? Part opportunists, part worried townsfolk. They claimed that they were protecting their part of the town from riffraff, who were coming down from the city just to try to steal all of their uncontaminated food. That this was just kind of concerned citizens' roadblock, conveniently in the way towards the main evacuation center. Yeah, but, well, I mean, they had a lot of guns, but I didn't really detect a lot of malice from them. It didn't seem like they particularly wanted to use them. So what you do? Yeah, told them I had food. I opened my backpack and showed them my food. Although it felt like a monumentally foolish thing to do, still, if they wanted to rob me, they all had guns anyway. Just as I was going through, one of them stopped and asked me if I had any more than that. I knew they were actually highwaymen. Bastards. I told him the truth. No. I had food for exactly 1 day. He grabbed my backpack and rifled through it, but I was telling the truth. Disappointed, he handed it back and let me through. I only took 1 can of food this time. Actually, so I guess that was a good thing? So, the evacuation center. My college. I'm not surprised I dreamed about it. It's like at the center of my life right now. It was still, in the dream, a big part of my life. That's where I worked, after all. Is this the part where the dream turns weird and college starts sprouting legs and begins smoking a hookah or something? Unfortunately, no. That would have been a pretty welcome respite. Even so, it must have been a respite. Proof that society survived. The United States weren't completely obliterated, etc., etc. Speaking of, what did happen to everyone? I don't know. Everything was still rather hazy. News was sporadic and often hearsay. There was a lot of talk about a missile defense system that no one knew we even had, that had apparently managed to shoot down something akin to 90% of the enemy warheads. Wishful thinking. Based on what I was seeing, I don't really see the difference. 10% was clearly more than enough to wreak unimaginable havoc. Hell, 1% probably would have been enough. Anyway, go on. I want to get to the end. What happened at the center? At the gates, there's a screening process going on. A big plastic corridor, where we were all told to undress and go through the super cold shower, after which men in gas masks and plastic coverings ran a Geiger counter over us. Seriously? So what happened? There were 2 doors at the end of the corridor, beyond the men in masks with guns. Whenever the Geiger counters frazzled and complained, you went right. Whenever it was quiet, you went left. I went right. Crap! They gave us back our old clothes at the other end, which was the thing that should have really freaked us out. Most were just grateful, but that meant they considered you dead. Yes. Through the fence I saw the ones going left, leaving towards the dorms, all wearing what looked like kind of prison uniforms. At least, they were likely to be clean and uncontaminated. And you? Where did they lead you? To the football stadium. Can you believe that? They didn't even care enough about it to get us out of the fallout. They had at least set up tents, stoves, and a kitchen for us, all staffed by similarly irradiated people, of course, presumably serving us irradiated food that they didn't want to be feeding the healthy ones. This can't be where your story ends. There's actually not much else to say. Huh? Well, I've been feeling it for a long time already, but by then it just came to an end. Ah, dang it! Okay, so we made it there, but we're still getting radiation. I don't know what I can do. Maybe I need to stay in the shelter for a little bit longer? I guess? I don't know. Let me see if this changes anything. Okay, so nothing changed. Although, when I was trying to get back to the shelter, I did end up dying in the ventilation shaft, and I don't know why, because I was skipping it, because I was a big dummy. But then I got like a recap thing with the game. It was like, you did this and all these other things, and I don't know exactly what that meant. I just don't know what else to do. I guess I could try staying in the shelter for like an extra day or something and then going out and seeing if that changes anything. The shelter seems like the best idea. Like, you need to stay in the shelter to wait for the bombs to drop so you don't get radiation. But maybe I need the radio and a can of food. And then that way I can listen to when the all clear is and then we can get out. I'll try that. I'll try that and see what happens. Alright guys, so I've tried several things in this playthrough and I'm just not making any progress. Like things are happening and I'm dying left and right. So I've met back up with Chess because the shelter is not working out. Like I'm getting radiation poisoning regardless. So what I want to do is I'm with Chess now and we've tried to do the motorcycle, we've tried to walk out of the chaos, but we never tried to get a car first. And I have a crowbar, so maybe I can use it to my advantage somehow. I don't know, but that's going to be like my last ditch effort for this episode at least. By your description, this seems like kind of a bad idea. Well, finding a vehicle was easy, but they had all been abandoned for a good reason. They weren't going anywhere. I had to find one I could feasibly get out of there with. An abandoned one you could feasibly get out of there with. Right, so how did that go? And what did Chess have to say about this? He was game. Anything to get to his sister faster. But he figured we'd make better time if we split up. I went for the car, and he went to scout out a route. Sounds like a plan. You're not going to be terribly proud of me, but I did have a crowbar. The perfect tool for a car thief. But didn't you say people were just leaving their cars unlocked and open in a panic? Yeah. That's not how I ended up using the crowbar. See, I figured I needed something big and strong, right? So I was looking. I came across this Hummer. Parked by the side of the road. Doors open, lights on, engine on. Perfect. No need for a crowbar at all. Unless you smash his windows in just for being a Hummer. I didn't need the crowbar to break into it. No. I was just about to slip inside when I heard an angry shout behind me. I turned around and saw this man running towards me, apoplectic with rage. Get out of my car, etc. Oh no. It was a total fight or flight mode, but I guess the heavy blunt implement in my hand let the fight part take over. I raised the crowbar at him and, I don't know, something in my crazy posture must have convinced him that I was gonna hurt him. He stopped. Long enough for me to get inside and slam the door shut at least. Whoa. Not an hour after the apocalypse and you're already looking like you're ready to bash a head in for a ride. Jesus, Alice. Believe me, I thought the same thing. Also, the guy chased after me. I mean, I just stolen this car, so I had to lose him first, which involved a lot of looping around in the same narrow area since downtown was gridlocked. I finally got away by ramming through 2 parked cars. A truly accomplished car thief. I lost some time, but I had a car. Unfortunately, traffic wasn't going anywhere. And Chess? He was waiting for me a bit further up. He jumped in, giving me the lowdown on the situation up ahead. He seemed pretty surprised, actually, that I managed to get a car. Surprised and elated. Hehe. So, how exactly did you and your Hummer get through the downtown gridlock? With ruthlessness. I was driving a very strong, big car with a perfect profile for pushing other cars the hell out of the way. Whoa. Dreamy was a bit of an a-hole. It was that or just abandoned the car I'd stolen, but it didn't come without its cost, of course. I managed to crash my way out of downtown, but by the time traffic eased up, the car was totaled. I had to get out and start walking. So the car was done for. Wasn't it about time for you to start looking for shelter anyway? Right, yeah. I left the car by the side of the road with some regret. I had gotten out of the immediate downtown area, but I didn't feel like it was enough. I don't think shelter's gonna help. Cause, like, we're still gonna get radiation. We don't need, like, I'm not worried about the impact of the explosion as much as I am the radiation. Just a single-mindedness is what led me. I'm pretty sure this was a monumental mistake and we get caught outside and killed for sure, but I couldn't just leave him, so I kept walking. How'd that work out for you? This is the same. This is the same. No bombs, couldn't believe it. Yeah, but they still fall. We were getting closer, so we kept walking. You actually made it that far? How long was it until the bombs actually hit? I'm not entirely sure, but something like 2 hours? I think they hit everywhere else before they hit us. I'm not really sure why. Missile shield? Do we have one of those? Anyway, I knew that us getting far was a miracle. Whatever hope we might have of finding a better shelter than Chess's sister's house was nil. I told him that, and he agreed. All he wanted to do was to get there. So? Was she there? Come on, this is exciting. We went up to the door, and Chess started banging on it. After a few minutes, it opened on the chain, and I could just barely see a mop of pale hair and scared eyes. He told her it was him, and she immediately opened the door and jumped into his arms. Jumped? So, not a physical disability. It was, but she wasn't wheelchair bound constantly. There was, however, a wheelchair in the entry hall. Anyway, we didn't really have time for niceties? Necessities? Is that how you spell necessities? It's not, right? The bombs are coming. Anyways, yeah, right, Miss Pragmatic. So, battle plan. Well, I tried looking for a basement, but the place didn't have one. So I suggested building a little fort out of furniture in the living room, hoping the roof wouldn't come crashing down. What about, like, food and things? Whatever the cupboard contained, we took with us to our shelter. Of course, and tried to protect it the best we could. So, the bombs. They actually hit then, in the dream. The first thing that happened was the windows blew in. I just closed my eyes and pulled my knees and made myself as small as possible. Chess held his sister. The bombing continued for I don't know how long, but aside from the windows, we seemed to be pretty okay. Imagine what it must have been like downtown. I didn't want to think about what it was like downtown. It was scary enough out there. A few cars drove past and I heard sirens. At one point, I ventured out to glance out the window. Once the bombs had stopped hitting, I saw the entire center was in flames. But at least you got out. How long did you wait in the house? Ash rain. We don't want to be in the ash rain. 24 hours? Is that going to be enough? It should be enough. Okay. I don't know how safe the house was from fallout, really. Windows blasted open and all that. But it was probably safer than walking in the streets. And as long as I only ate the uncontaminated food, it ought to be okay, I thought. All the food I had on me really did go, and in the end, I even had to supplement a bit from the cupboards. I'm sure it was fine. So you ate through all your supplies then? I mean, I can't really do anything else. There were a lot of other survivors on the road as well, and soon enough the rumor started circulating. There was a government evacuation center, set up in the old college. Everyone was going there. The college? As in your college. Yep, talk about coming back to the beginning. Anyway, that's where everyone was headed. There's just one minor problem. The river. Yeah, okay, so we have to deal with the people still. I think we'll be okay since we have the sister. Let's see what happens. Brave. Yeah, I wasn't gonna let them scare me. Part opportunist. Okay. Alrighty, so what you do? Let's try the food thing. Sometimes they kick me out saying I'm like a bandit. I told him the truth. I had nothing. I put my backpack to show him. He grabbed it, emptying out and rifling through the contents. So much for concerned citizen. He told me I was a looter and I should F off. At least he gave me my backpack back. To which you replied, yes, the famous fast talk. How'd that go? I didn't fast talk. I told him the truth. Yeah, here we go. I was there to help Chess and his sister across. I told them the incredible lengths we'd gone to get to where we were. I just told the truth. Did that just work? They said they could let Chess and her through. I would still need to be checked for supplies. And? Well, I didn't have anything, so I just waved them goodbye. What a story. Sorry, I didn't feel very prosaic. Anyway, I still needed to figure out what to do. Dang it! There's no way in! We can go down river, but that's when I've passed out before too. And what's to say the other bridges didn't have similar setups? Seems like a likely thing to do. I was willing to take the chance. I wasn't going to tangle with a group of armed men, even if I lost some time. How much time did you lose? About 2 days. I thought it'd be easier to walk further away from the river, but that really didn't work. And then the riverbank had collapsed into the river, which in turn was churning violently for some reason. I'd never seen it like that. It was broken? Yes, it had collapsed. Oh, jeez. No hope of getting over. Well, it had collapsed, but not totally. Half of it was dragging in the current, some cars still hanging on by some form of magic. Maybe it would be possible to balance across, but it looked pretty risky. I was so disappointed and tired, though, it actually felt like a good idea. How about just backtracking instead? There's actually not much else to say. Huh? Well, oh, so you still got poisoning. Ah, she still gets it. Okay, so we did better. I'm doing better, but I really think that I'm missing something because I just can't make it in there. They were looking for supplies, and then they said I was a looter and wouldn't let me in, but they let Chess and his sister in. So there's got to be something that I'm supposed to have on me, or maybe I'm not supposed to have as much of something on me, and then they would let me in as well, because I'm contaminated though. I'm still gonna go off. I don't know. I just don't know. I may have to see what's possible and what you can do to get out of this. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here because I have been going for almost an hour trying to figure out the best way to survive this, and not happening. So today is not the day I survived the apocalypse. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next MAMJ Let's Play. Why didn't you just bring your entire apartment with you to the bathroom? I mean, like, bed, every scrap of food, etc. First of all, I was kind of afraid the building would, collapse. I wanted to be ready to run, so I packed my bags in advance. Secondly, the truth was, I just didn't want to come to think of it. I'm sure I had tons of other useful things lying around that I just didn't want to bring along. Alright, so what happened? The end of the world. Come on, let's hear it. It took a lot longer for the bombs to begin falling than they said. I stayed online for as long as I could, with my laptop in the bathroom. Door closed, everything edible stacked around.